Hello viewers, welcome to another video from the Law Basket. Here with us today is the Star Pupil, the current Star Pupil of the Sierra Leone Law School of 2019-2020 academic year. He is no less a person but Mr. Gbatundu Kutubu. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Mr. Kutubu, your name has been sounded on the lips of several law students in the past few months. So people would like to know, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a young, excited, energetic gentleman, and I come from a family of 5 sisters. I'm the only son, and as a result, I tend to be a little bit spoiled outside my life. That's probably what people don't know. So yeah, that's me. And I think I'm inspired by the fact that before entering into university, my dad went through some challenges. So ever since, although yes, I was brilliant in school, ever since I set myself out to become unnatural with my potentials. Yeah.
So, firstly, I must say as a Agentonian, I'm very excited to be interviewing another Agentonian, and not any other Agentonian but the Star Pupil. So take us through your college days at the Fawabe College.
Well, I entered Fawabe College from the grammar school. I was a young boy, and even now, I tend to be very youthful. So imagine those years back, I was almost naive. I mean, I had my large afro on my head, always in skinny pants and funny looking shirts. And I entered into the university sitting with classmates the age of my parents, sometimes probably my grandparents. And you're like, the lecturer is saying so many things. I mean, from the grammar school, we used to the teacher giving us notes, we memorize it, we give them back, we have a 99 or something. But now, the guy's not even giving notes, he just keeps talking on and on and on. And you're like, how am I going to deal with this new life? So, at the start, it was messy. I would hardly go early for classes because I wasn't quite getting excited about the course. But then, you know, the university is one thing. Unlike school where you're taught, you teach yourself at the university how to be a student. Yeah, so I taught myself, I went through this. I realized the university was there to shape me into being a man, that I was not going to be taught to be a man. I was going to use the university to shape myself to be a man. So at the start, we faced hurdles, had poor grades in tests, but it was from those we learned that here, it's about you being a man, you going home, making notes, you listening to those recordings, those lectures, and then picking beats, going to the library, putting materials together. It was totally different from what we had at the grammar school, but then it came on well. And then what really helped me was the fact that I joined the debating council, because it gave me the confidence. I was a good debater from the Sierra Leone Grammar School, but I wasn't so excited to be a debater at the Fawabe College. When they met me the first time, I turned it down. But then when I accepted it, everything changed. I became a figure on campus, representing the country, representing the university. I started becoming myself. And me, to be honest, well, if people think like that, they're not wrong. I like attention. So the fact that I was going out there, winning things, I became fulfilled. And the height of my university life was the fact that it was not even law. For me, that was it. Representing my university, making people know that there once was a man here, and he is Kutubu, and he did it in a way many people might not have done it. That was the height. That was the climax of my life at the university.
Okay, so what were some of your lowest moments in the university?
What will I say? 2. One is the fact that I'm a very jealous boyfriend. So there were times when there's someone I'll be going out with, they'll get me so jealous. I look so dramatic all over the place, looking all... And yeah, that was one of my lowest points, because you can really get me at my least when I'm emotional. It's those times I ran for president. You know, I never realized politics could be so deep. I ran for Secretary General once, I won by landslide. But when I tried running for president, and that was because I had first run under the black camp and had won, and now I didn't want to run for them anymore. I wanted to run for the white camp. They came at me with the heaviest of blows. People were spreading so many rumors. Sometimes I would hear things people say about me and I would be in tears. Nothing went lower than that.
So, as a student, I already know that you are involved in debating, representing university, and at large representing the country. Were you involved in any other activity? Because as a youth, definitely you'd have a lot of side attractions. For example, I play football a lot. Do you have any other activity you are involved in?
Probably that's why I'm able to do well. I don't have so many things to do. Other than debating, I only listen music. I don't do any sports. I'm basically not physical. And yeah, I don't do anything. I listen music. I'm probably at home. And so there's a likelihood that when I'm home alone, I'll be bored and read. So yeah, I don't do so many of activities. I can count the number of times I've been to a club with my fingers on one hand. So yeah, I don't do so much.
Okay, so upon graduation, definitely you gained admission into the Sierra Leone Law School. Now, what were some of the experiences in the Sierra Leone Law School?
A lot. I mean, the law school is different than anything. The law school in Sierra Leone is different than anything any person studying law would face. Even if you've done PhD, the law school brings with it an expectation of life and an expectation of academic standards. When I say an expectation of life, it's totally different from whether you're studying or working so hard. It's whether you can maintain mental stability whilst studying and facing the academic life. Because probably, and for me especially, I went to the law school with already a very loud name.
Yes.
So from day one, people were like, he's the star pupil. And it's not a safe thing for people to start identifying you at that point, because people will start thinking anything you do, it's directed at gaining attention or working towards star pupil. And I was really just having fun. How that even affected me. Some of the elderly students from FVC who were at the law school, me, I like moving with ladies. Me, I like looking playful. And they would see me, they're like, man, you know you're the one we hope on to do this. The way you're conducting yourself here, it's not hopeful. And it became so, especially when I failed probably my 2 tests. They were like, you see? So they were expecting me to maintain a life which is not mine. The law school brings with it the package that sometimes you have to fake things. Because some of us really don't have to look so serious for us to do well. We'll do well regardless. But then people want you to. You have friends who will go to classes looking all suited up, looking like, man, not even Einstein can give me a run right now. You have friends, the way they answer questions, they take the lecturer to town. I mean, everybody has this presentation of seeming perfection,
Yeah.
which is risky, because the law school requires you to be humble and appreciate your ignorance. How do I mean so? Many of the things the lecturers are teaching, it's most likely you will have heard about them, but it's more than the most of the likelihood that you would not have learned it the way they want you to understand it. So if you don't appreciate that ignorance, you're going to think, I don't even need to listen to him that much. But maybe if you pay attention to him, the way he adds the bits and pieces to put him in frame of what he's teaching brings a whole new realm. So you first of all have to understand that at the law school, for me, that's the greatest experience. Being myself and feeding people the glory they seek from me. People would want me graduating as best for a college student to look like, even when I was working in town, once I met I think it was my dean or so, he's like, Kutubu, we want you to know we hope on you. Man, I'm just working in the state of Peter. I'm not even thinking about law school now. Everyone will be texting me, Kutubu, we hope, we believe in you. We believe, and it became even more funny when we went for the interview and Franklin was first, I was second. So people started, Kutubu, Franklin has you've lost to Franklin at the interview already. What's the hope that you will beat him? So these funny things, and it's a burden on your mind because you don't want these expectations on you whilst you're working so hard. And this is so because at the law school, no matter how smart you are always struggling. So you who is struggling, the person struggling, is unable to balance how people think you're perfect. People should know you're going through struggles no matter how smart you are, but people didn't think that about me. So it was a traumatic experience. Well, even though I've written the exam, I was now waiting for my result. People, before the results were out, everybody was congratulating me. I'm like, guys, what if it goes south? And I kept praying. Sometimes people will call me, hey, we dream say you know can't force so. Or even myself, I'll dream that I wasn't forced. And I'll be like, God. So all these things, yeah, that's the summation of my experience at the law school.
I think that's no surprise that going into the law school as the best graduating student from your class, you know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. What was your reaction? How was the feeling like when you saw the results that you've now achieved something that many people expected you to achieve? How was it like?
To be honest, I was not surprised. I wouldn't lie, because I had almost topped the aggregate of the continuous assessment and the exams. To be honest with you, the way I suffered myself to study for them, they weren't difficult. And I know myself, there's a certain way I write exams. I know it's hard for me to be second. I wrote that exam really hard. I'm not trying to write down the difficulty of the law school exam, because even though smart people have failed there and people who use social, I'm just trying to say I wasn't so surprised. But what I felt was at least, because sometimes for me, and maybe that has helped me all through my life, it's expectations of people that sometimes push me. I'm a lazy person by myself, but the way people expect me to do well, it's sometimes the reason I do so well. So I felt like, well, guys, if anything, I've given you what you want. I felt like me coming first was more for people than myself, because me, I knew I was smart even if I didn't come first, but people wanted me to show that I was that good. And my bosses, my friends, in fact, I was in the office when the results were to be published. All my friends in the office were gathered around me. They were already giving me that congratulatory vibe. So I just felt like, well, guys, I did this for you. That's how I felt.
So you've now successfully completed the last hurdle of being a lawyer. Well, not the last hurdle. So what's your candid opinion about the current status of the judiciary of Sierra Leone?
I'm not such a critic. I'm a lazy person with what I think about certain things. To attempt to give an opinion now would be something I'll just have to say because everybody is saying it. But to be honest, it's not something I think I have an inspired view about. Yeah, I would rather be silent on that than fake an answer.
Okay, so what's your plan? What's your plan as a lawyer? How do you imagine yourself impacting the lives of ordinary Sierra Leoneans?
I think your question does not understand that I've already inspired people. But however, I'll just keep being me. I've realized that I don't have to think I'm inspiring people to inspire people. Sometimes the most little things I've done, people have met me and they go on and on about how I inspire them. So I know my life I'm living is naturally an inspiration. I don't know how I'm doing it, and sometimes people ask me how I do well. I really don't have an answer to it. I'm just living myself. And that's why I say if you see me in real sense, you wouldn't think I do so well, because I'm not like your serious student. So I'll do what I do, and I hope that inspires people. But then, I tend to concentrate on two areas, more than just the law, debating too. I want people to understand that when you're a good public speaker, many of the things in the world come under control. Yeah, so those two things are the areas I plan to concentrate on in inspiring people.
Okay, we hope that ends well. So, what's your advice to law students now?
to the law students out there, I mean, I don't know if my strategy works, but you don't have to be the other person in class who looks so serious to do so well. Many a time, they don't really do so well. They just feel they will do so well. All of us, the law is one apparel that suits everyone. You could be crazy red-headed. You could be serious white collar. You could be poor and confused. You could be dramatic. You could be influential. But whatever you bring, the law dresses you well. So use the most of your potential and realize the law is one thing for everyone. Yeah.
So, thank you very much, Mr. Kutubu. It's been a pleasure to have you here with us. Thank you for
You're
for
welcome.
the
You're
invitation.
welcome. And thanks again to Unimac. You've proven ever so well that you're a lovely university. And I don't think many people realize that about you. Many people think the Unimac is seeking to compete and show that they're good enough to compete with FBC. But my interactions with students from the Unimac, even before this time, has proven way better than that. They're a lovely set of people. They're competitive, and so people think they want to oust you, but they simply want to make the most of their potentials. And I'm really inspired by that.
Oh, thank you very much. That's a plus for the university. So I think we've had a very lovely moment with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's